Meet James. He's a Christian who loves Jesus, but lately he's been overwhelmed. He's scrolling online, seeing heated debates about the Trinity, idolatry, and other theological controversies. James feels pressured to pick a side, to get it right, but the more he reads, the more confused and anxious he becomes. He wonders, what if I believe the wrong thing? Will I still be saved? If you've ever felt like James, stuck in a spiral of worry over Christian controversies, I get it. I've been there too, wrestling with big questions and feeling like I needed all the answers. But here's the good news. You don't have to have it all figured out, and God's grace covers you, even in your uncertainty. Why do we get so caught up in these debates? Often, it's because we think our salvation depends on nailing every theological detail. We fear that if we don't fully understand complex doctrines, we're failing God. But that's a trap. The truth is, these controversies have been debated for centuries, and even the most brilliant scholars don't agree. Trying to resolve them all can pull us away from what Jesus said matters most. So, how do we find peace? Let's look at the Bible for answers, and embrace what I call the grace of ignorance, trusting God's forgiveness and love even when we don't have all the answers. First, focus on what Jesus prioritized. In Matthew 22:37-39, Jesus says, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment, and a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself." Loving God and loving people is the heart of our faith. Instead of getting lost in debates, pour your energy into living out these commands. Pray daily to grow in love for God and ask Him to show you ways to serve others. Second, trust God's grace for what you don't know. In Luke 23:34, as Jesus hung on the cross, He prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Jesus asked for forgiveness for those who didn't understand the magnitude of their actions. If He extended grace to them, how much more will He cover us when we're genuinely seeking Him, even if we're unsure about certain doctrines? When you feel anxious about controversies, pray for the grace of ignorance. Ask God to forgive any misunderstandings and to guide you to truth in His timing. Third, rest in the promise of future clarity. 1 Corinthians 13:12 says, "For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known." One day, when we meet Jesus, all our questions will be answered. Until then, it's okay to admit you don't know everything. Focus on growing in faith and trust, knowing that God sees your heart. So what's the next step? Right now, take a moment to pray. Ask God to free you from worry over controversies and to fill you with love for Him and others. Commit to reading Matthew 22:37-39 this week and reflecting on how you can live it out. Maybe it's helping a neighbor or joining a Bible study to grow in community. Trust that God's grace is enough, even for what you don't yet understand. If this video encouraged you, please click subscribe and join us in spreading God's love and peace. Let's grow together in faith.